Good Monday morning. Welcome. This is the Coffee Break Show. You are on the Success Secrets for Business, Family, and Life channel, and it is brought to you by Metadyne Digital Network, and we are so glad you are here today. I'm Vickie Helm, and I'm so glad that you've joined us. It's Monday, and Monday is the day we talk about what's happening in the world. What is happening in the world? And I want to know, do you think we have reached the tipping point? Have we actually got to the tipping point where we're over the cliff or not? Let's talk about that today in 3, 2, 1. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. So I see you guys coming on board. Do me a favor and check in and let me know if it's the first time you're on the Coffee Break Show. We go live every day, Monday through Friday, and we talk about tips, tools, techniques. We talk about motivation, inspiration, and those things that are going to help you get through this pandemic economy. Those things that are going to help you build thrivability in your life. And I want to talk about that today because I am worrying and wondering. I see you guys coming in. Do me a favor and put your name down below and say hello and good morning. Oh, let's see. Here we go. This is it. Happy Monday morning. How's your gratitude challenge coming along? Yes. How is that gratitude challenge coming along? I think we're on we're in the double digits. Is it day 12? I think it is, of the gratitude challenge. And it is going to help you change here. And we got a purple heart. And this must be Anna. Thank you very much. Hello, Vickie and everyone. Nice to see you coming on today. Yes, please check in and say hello. So today, I've been talking to my team the whole weekend. Good morning, all. Nice to see you on, MJ. Nice to see you here. And hey, Candy Wood, welcome aboard. Glad to see you here. So glad you're here today. So today I want to look at whether we're hitting the tipping point or not. What does that mean? Well, today is the first day that the United States has topped over 3 million coronavirus cases in the United States, and it's still growing. And of course, that means some people are rolling back their opening. There's some states that are so many cases that they're just not even doing anything. They're just gonna wait and roll back. And that means, did we hit the tipping point? What do I mean by tipping point? Are we headed towards another quarantine? Are we headed towards that? Are we closing down all the businesses again? And what does that do? What does that do for, say, upcoming companies? What does that do for the world and the world economy? Good morning, another sunrise, another day, and another cup of coffee from Donnie. Nice to see you, Donnie. Yeah, I was talking to him yesterday because there's a new form of the virus right now, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. I know there's a bunch of people out there who think this virus is a hoax, and it's a hoax to make the president look bad. But there is no way other countries would risk their economic status to make our president look bad. It just wouldn't happen. They wouldn't risk their country for our country just to make the president look bad. So look at this, MJ. They're already waiting for your bated breath for your pearls of wisdom. I may have to have that girl on one day. I may have to get her on the show with me. So anyway, when we're looking at the world right now, those people in the United States who think it's a hoax and that it's there to make the president look bad, there's one thing I know, and Donnie always says this to me, and I always say it to Donnie: we follow the money. So here's the thing. Governments like money. They like lots of money, and businesses like money, and people like money. We just all generally like money, and there isn't a country or a government or a policy that would risk the slow of money, that would risk that, they wouldn't risk lowering their money. So this to me isn't about making the president look bad, because the president would never slow the money down in this way, or the getting of money. So he would want our economy to be rolling and rocking because that's what makes him look good. And I know everybody thinks, well, this isn't any worse than a cold, but that's the thing I want to talk about. All of my friends who are suffering and have suffered or have died But those that are suffering and they've recovered from the COVID have really, really serious injuries to their body. They're not able to go back 100%. So the virus isn't like a cold where you're like, I don't feel good, and then you're fine and you go back to 100%. Some of them have over a year of being in rehab. We just lost an actor, a Broadway actor, to the COVID as well, and he was in the hospital for weeks and weeks and weeks. He came home to rehab and he died there at home. So this thing that we think is, gentle, or this thing that we think is just no big deal, it's a big deal. And when we hit 3 million, I was listening to Dr. Fauci, and I don't care what you think about him. He made a point that I think is relevant to everyone. And he just said, we're getting to the point, if we don't get this under control soon, it'll get out of control. It'll just be out of control. And when it gets out of control, that is going to, seriously damage us. But I also have been, listen, Scott said, send her a link. See, send her a link. I don't want to just, hey, just come on the show right now. I don't know how you're dressed or how you look. Just come on the show now. Hey, MJ, if you'd like to take a pop on the show and you'd like to be here with us, do me a favor and put a yes in there and I'll send you a link. So what happens is our future has become uncertain right now. It's become uncertain because we're at a tipping point, but we're also at a division point. We just celebrated our 4th of July independence, but we're not as united as we used to be. And this lack of unity and this tipping point of having over 3 million cases, we're the hot spot of the world. And so now, yesterday, we were talking and we live close to, yay! Oh, she said, yes, let's get MJ on. Come on. All right, hang on, girlfriend. I am going to send you an invite and I'm going to send it to, let me clip this here. MJ, go to your messenger in Facebook and let's get her on here. This is exciting. Way to go, Scott. Good idea. Monday morning, we're going to bring Marie Jo on with us. Let's have some fun. All right, Marie Jo, I'm going to put the link inside a messenger for you. And let's see. Is it under MJ? There you are. All right, hang on. I'm putting it in, I'm pasting it in right now. And I'm putting it in your messenger so you can hop on with us and we can all meet you finally, because everybody loves hanging out with you. Let's see. Look at this. Look at this. They're all ready. Come on, MJ. Let's do this live with you. Ask and you shall receive. Hey, Peter's on. How are you, Peter? So great to have you. Congratulations, though, Peter. Peter just, he and his wife just started a YouTube channel today, and it is rocking good. His wife is like this phenomenal, fantastic cook, and she cooks everything that is all health food. Thank you. Awesome show. So, Marie Jo, all you have to do is, there she is. All right, hang on a second. This is going to be so fun. Peter just, his wife, started a YouTube channel today, and here so that I can actually hear you. Let's do a sound check. This phenomenal, fantastic cook, and she cooks everything that is all health food. Thank you. Awesome show. So, Marie Jo?
Yes.
All you have to do is, there she is. All right, hang on a second. Do you have earphones? Because we're getting feedback. YouTube channel today, and there we go. There we go. Welcome. So nice to have you with us. Okay, everybody. I finally got Marie Jo on with us. Thank you for being here. Everybody gets to meet you. And so I want to keep talking about, look at this.
I'm getting some feedback here.
Oh, it may be that you need to turn me down a little bit.
Okay.
Because there's no feedback for us. Can you guys hear us okay? I like this. Look at this. Yay, MJ. Way to be in the moment. Thank you. MJ is in the house. Woohoo. All right. Thank you, guys. Can you hear me okay now? Can you hear me okay? Marie
Yeah,
Jo?
not really. I'm hearing another conversation in the back.
You're hearing a lot of conversation in the back.
No,
Okay.
I'm hearing another.
Okay, so what you have to do is shut the show off. You've got the show running at the same time.
That's what
Shut
it
the
is. Okay.
show off because now you're a guest on the show. And then
Okay.
you okay,
That's good.
Good. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All
Perfect.
right. See, we got her on now. I want to tell you why we have her on because you guys don't know this. She's been a fan of the show for a long time. She's been watching it. I'm so thrilled actually to be here with you. I'm really thrilled.
Thanks for having me.
And I want to let you know this was not planned. We just got her on with us so that we could continue the conversation. And then look, they're all like, look at this, close the tab where the show is, and then you won't hear everyone. She's hearing voices. That could be the thing. So she's on the show and she always has these really cool perspectives and insights that she shares with everybody. And I started realizing, I was like, this girl's got it going on. She's smart and really there. And I finally was like, every time I see her name pop up, I'm like, yes, she's with us today. And so now we actually get to meet some of the people in the group. I actually like this idea. I may pull another person on, like, I don't know, somebody to have a conversation with. We're talking about hitting the tipping point today with COVID because we have over 3 million cases. And every country in the world right now is closing their borders to the United States because of the COVID being here. Every border is cut. Nobody, in fact, they're starting to do it with states, inside states. And what I am curious about is, as the states start closing themselves off and saying 14 days before you can get out, you have to quarantine coming into state 14 days before you can come out. That to me is starting to hit. Glad to see your beautiful face, MJ Caesar. Thank you. That is so sweet, Donnie. Thank you. Most people are thinking that we're headed towards martial law as the states start to close down because some states have more hot spots than others. Like Wyoming, they have a very low case rate. You wouldn't want anybody in there. You know what I mean?
Well, Vickie, to tell you the truth, to me, that's my opinion. Okay, we have to weigh it out. Do we want to be well, or do we want to say, okay, this is America and my freedom of expression and my freedom of whatever? Okay, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we really want to take care of this problem, if the result is to quarantine for a period of time and close the borders, let's do it. I can tell you, I am not American. I am stuck in America.
Oh, okay? Yes, you are.
My life partner is here. So I commute and then I came in and I can't get out, and my home is in Bermuda.
We all want to go to Bermuda.
Yeah, my home is in Bermuda. So thank God my kids are adults. My grandkids miss me, but I get thanks to Zoom, I see them weekly. That's good. Look what Australia did yesterday. They shut everybody down in. You cannot come out.
Yeah.
Okay, so
it's a thing we need to do. We're not serious yet.
Exactly. New Zealand did it.
Yep.
And from the beginning, and they don't have an issue now. But everybody in America has a right, and I'm okay with that.
It's hard with that because I always think we're dying of arrogance right now. We're getting sick of our ego. We are getting to meet you in person. Thank you. Oh, look at this.
By the way, I love your show, Vickie.
Thank you.
I am so glad that you changed the time, so I'm able to join in most days now.
Thank you. I am so happy that you're with us too. But I want to go back to what you just said because it's so important. It's like other countries are willing to do what it takes to kill the virus off.
Yep.
And some of us don't even believe that the virus is real here. And I think that's why we're having these huge numbers showing up.
Yep.
Look at this. I want to talk about this. Close down. The city of Victoria, NSW. Give me that. Where is that? New Zealand? No. NSW. Come on. Scott, give me some more on that. NSW. The city of Victoria. Closed down NSW. The city of Victoria. Is that Victoria in Canada? Or in Texas? Or in New South Wales? Is that what it is? They closed down New South Wales, the city of Victoria. It's not an American issue. It's a human issue. That's it. This is it. Thank you so much. New South Wales. Thank you. It's not an American issue. It's a human issue to want to be social. Yes, that is it. And at the same time, New South Wales. Thank you. So this is closed down New South Wales, the city of Victoria. And this is what's really huge right here. Yes, I like this. Yes, that is happening in Australia, New South Wales. Thank you, Peter. Yep. So we're looking over here, the province of New South Wales, Australia. Thank you. So again, I get that. It's like if we have to close down and we have to close our borders in order to make this go away, we can. And that means our economy is at the tipping point because it is, Victoria is a state. I think Victoria is a queen. Just saying. Anyway, so when we are taking a look at the future right now, how can we get to the point where we are maybe more like other countries and see it as a pandemic versus something that is trying to make the president look bad or it doesn't matter the argument right now of how it was handled. Right now, we have to handle it. Yep. And everybody's on the news right now. Well, he handled it bad. Well, we could have saved this many lives if we're talking about the past. We're not talking about the present. That's right. That's not the issue.
The issue is how are we going to get out of that mess? Okay. And when it's done, it's done. And we are human beings. We could talk to each other, and we got to come to our senses, And as Scott says, it is a world problem, yes, but which is really severe in America.
Yeah.
And if wearing a mask, that's what it takes to deal with it. Well, wear it until it's gone, and then we won't have to wait anymore. Yeah. But everybody wants to have a say in it. Everybody wants to be a scientist. Everybody. So, and as Dr. Fauci said, even with a vaccine, it's not going to be the end of it.
It's true.
So it could be a change of lifestyle altogether. But we got to, collectively, we got to do something in order to bring this to some kind of an end.
Yeah, we gotta bend the curve again. And the thing is, once it gets out of control, it's like there's only so many makeshift hospitals we can put up before, MASH units or whatever you want to call it, where we're dealing with all these people. And some states are already at 100% capacity. There's only so many nurses from other states that we can send to other states if their state is rising, if everybody's rising in that virus.
And Vickie, also, it's so much unknown about this thing. You remember at one point they said, okay, young people didn't get it. Now they're getting it. Now they are now dealing with the after the consequences. What happened after you get COVID? Okay, so it's still a lot of things that we don't know about. So it's a fear of the unknown there. But you would think that a lot of people are not scared of the unknown. I could tell you, I am home and I'm staying home. Okay, if I get COVID came and got me. I didn't go looking for it.
That's right. That's how I've been. Yeah. We have been quarantined since December or January 1, we've been quarantined ourselves.
Yep.
So it's now 6 or 7 months of quarantine. And I'm pretty okay with it. My life isn't much different. I have my work at home. I'm very fortunate.
You know
I
what?
miss the traveling piece, but other than that, I
Me
like it.
too, but you know what? We are alive, right? And as you go older, you value the few minutes that you have to left, right? So you try to stay away from all of that. And I could tell you, you make do. I mean, you're able to eat, you're able to communicate, and I mean, just imagine technology is getting better. We are able to talk to people from around the world, you know, in our pajamas, right?
That's
so
right.
without having to check bags and go to TSA. I mean, hey, that's great. That's wonderful. So why can't we embrace it and you know, pointless worrying about it? We can't change it. Okay,
Yes.
I do not worry about what I can't change. So
I love this.
Yeah, so you just have to go with it.
I love it. It's here. We're dealing with what is. Peter says, if we all want change, it has to start from us to set the example for others to follow. Yes. And this has been key because I want to talk about change. Like I went on lockdown in December, and there was a lot of things that I let go of that was going to happen. So if you remember, Robin and I were going to be in that RV, and we were going to be in Philadelphia. Then we were going down to Florida. Then we had this whole thing planned. We had to stop that, reorganize what we were doing. We had to look at the future. We had to reorganize my company, reorganize our plans, reorganize our life, and we had to put in place those things that will make us happy with what is right now. I want to talk about this. Masks are convenient during a revolution. Now the uprising has begun. A second lockdown is going to be difficult to enforce without strict martial law declarations. Yes, some states are under martial law, in my opinion. They have curfews. I think it's 10 o'clock they have to be in. I hate that we have gotten to that just because we're so all about our rights and kind of egotistical. We're kind of to the point where we look at life and we just think we can do whatever we want, and that life isn't going to deal with us in a different way than the way we've gotten used to every day. But right now there is a whole lot of change. MJ, I love that statement. If I get COVID, it came and found me. I wasn't going out looking for it. Yes, and that's the point. That's the point. And when we get to the point where we see this as something that is, there's two ways of seeing it. It's either something that's bothersome or something that has set a new opportunity in front of you. And it's like if you were going down your way and making money the way you made money and always did everything else, and suddenly, bam!
You know what? The money is going to be there anyway.
Yeah,
you won't be there, but the money will be there. I could tell you, Bermuda, when they were really strict. Now they haven't had any cases for a few days now. And but I mean, to the grocery store, it was by alphabetical order. So if your name started from A to whatever, you went to the grocery stores on Monday, Wednesday.
Wow.
And if they were really strict, you cannot go to the beaches. I mean, they had the army, the police at every entrance of the various beaches and golf courses and that kind of stuff. It was pretty. I mean, my son, who is a 32-year-old young man, said, "This is like, you know, I can't even go out." I said, "Well, the yard is big enough. Enjoy yourself in the yard." You know?
That's right. Have a barbecue.
So you got to, if you want some result, you got to apply the measures that are necessary to
everything
get the
you
results.
planned stopped. Every live event I was going to be at, all the speaking gigs stopped. Yes, that's so true, Vickie. We're in the same position. Driving in across the U.S. and Canada, we just had to stop the whole travel and reassess everything we do. That's right. And For me, do you know how important that is? Because I look at the people I love, and I got to tell you, Peter and Mary France love to travel, and they're great travelers. They do that for a living. And they just had to stop this year traveling. He's a professional. He says, I'm a professional traveler. That's what I do. But they do it the fun way, and they've earned that way. They've earned that spot. And right now, there is a point where, when things shift, your mindset either accept what's happening and looks for the opportunities in the shift, or you resist it.
Yep.
So in that resistance right there, that's so dangerous for everyone else. You get to the point where even though you think this is a hoax, so many people who have thought of it was a hoax got on and have said, you know what, this is not a hoax. And so when you get to the point where you have your friends saying this is not a hoax, or you're watching your friends go through it, you're watching your friends who have COVID.
Exactly.
And at that point, you're like, this is not a hoax. I know this person. They would never do this.
Vickie, why waste so much good energy trying to figure out if it's a hoax, if it's a conspiracy? The facts are in front of us.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Yeah. And that's a point. The facts are in front of us in every major country in the world. Everywhere. It's like everybody's like, they're trying to make President Trump look bad. Yes, the people on this island who don't even know who President Trump is because they don't even speak English. Yes, they've all got COVID over there to make your president look bad. Hello. So
exactly. Yeah, and like, I see it from all, because I live in Bermuda for 40 years, but I'm actually French. So I am from the island of Guadeloupe, but which is
okay.
We are very French, but it's happening there too. What does Trump has to do with it?
Yeah. What are you supposed to do with it? I love how matter of fact she is. Isn't she really matter of fact? She's like, well, here it is. What are you going to do? But that's the point. Here it is. What are you going to do? And the thing is, I think that we have 3 million cases, not because I think we have super spreaders in the United States. I think that we love to be social, and on Labor Day, we all got together and ignored all the rules. And this is the consequence of ignoring that rule. And so it's so hard. It's much easier to, I think, close down other borders and other places. But Americans are very much about whatever their rights are, their rights of this and rights of that. And I think
it's also living in the moment, which is great, but you cannot keep your eyes off the potential future. Okay?
Yes.
So you have to be discerning. Am I going to do this? Am I not going to do that? There will be another Memorial Day. There will be another 4th of July. But guess what? You might not be there to enjoy it.
Yes. You want to make sure that you're there to enjoy it. And this is key. Yeah. Not partially there. So I want to go over here. We also had to cancel our European trip in March because of this situation. I remember that. I actually remember that, Peter. But what's interesting right now is what she says is it's not just that the virus is here. And yes, maybe you don't die. In fact, fewer people are dying now than before, but they're living with bodily challenges that they did not have to have. Correct. It's kind of like when we got rid of polio, we didn't notice how it wrecked everybody's body. Well, this is the same way. There's people with permanent lung damage. There's people with their hair falling out. There's people who can't. Some people had to learn to swallow all over again because they had to be, ventilated for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. They have a year. They're having a year of rehab. Some people, I have a friend of mine an acquaintance of mine who got over it, and they used hydroxychloroquine, or I think I'm saying that right. Whatever it is. And she was fine. And now she's gotten it again. And it's not like it's not a cold. She got it again? Yeah. It came back. And now she's suffering. She has blisters on her lips and around here. intubated. Thank you. It's intubated. Intubated. Thank you. So it's not that you just get over it like a cold and you go back to normal well.
So you could catch it again.
Yes, and so you can catch it again. There's a new form of this virus that is coming out in China right now and in the United States. Donnie knows a lot about that. COVID taught me that. Let's see. Intubated COVID taught me that. Let's look at this. We now have to band together and let people know the truth about the situation. This is happening in the world. Thank you very much, Vickie, and the team for this program. Thank you so much. This is what COVID taught me. Donnie, I don't know if you're there, but I kind of want to, can we do a 3 people on? Could you come on? If you can, say yes. There's a newer form of it that is right now inside of China. And that means I watch China because what's happening there will most likely happen here. And the thing is, it's slower because the way it's slower right now, Marie Jo, it's like flights are down and everything else. It's not going to travel as fast as it did the first time if they can't get into the United States or get out. So it's whatever the second wave, the second mutation or form of this particular virus is, it's going to take a little bit longer to get out there. Sad but true, we had more discussions about ventilators than ever before. Yes, because it's like, yes, they saved their lives. Oh, you're going to go back to normal. You don't go back to normal. You don't want to get this. You don't want to get this at any age. The damage to your lungs you have to live with. And what Marie Jo just said was that next year, when you want to be there for those events, those holidays, the 4th of July and everything else, how do you want to be there? Do you want to be there not being able to breathe, having to pull an O2 can or in a wheelchair or bald, or how do you want to be? You don't want to get this at all. We need O2 saturation, not more intubations. I agree with that. I wouldn't know how that would happen. And I'm not sure. And what other thing she just said was also, Dr. Fauci just talked about having a vaccine and that the most they think they could have even in a year, the first round, the first crappy round was 200 million. And with 8 billion people on the planet, can you see how that's like 200 million with 8 billion people? Are you here? Are you able to get on, Donnie? I'm going to send you an invite as well, because I want to talk about that second form of the virus. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to send him a link right now so we can get on and talk about this. I didn't plan it this way, but it's just here. So Donnie, I'm going to put it under Metadime right now so you can just pop on. And since we can have 3 people on, all you have to do is click it. It's in the Team Metadime, okay? So I'm going to go back over here and move this out of the way, because once he gets on, I'm going to have kind of a 3 style. Here we go. I'm sorry, we're going to do this first. No, not that. First that. And then when he comes on, I'll change it by 3. But what is interesting to find out is this new virus. Donnie's done all the research. We have a researching team for Metadime that does all this back office research and things. Right. And we do that so that we can have up to date. We want to give our particular people that we serve, we want to give them as much notice as we can. Like we gave them 12-week notice before the virus got here, shop, and save. And we're trying to look at the time. And I think we've hit the tipping point. And the tipping point for me is we're going to have to make a choice of whether we are going to bend the curve back down again and have some financial losses. Versus Donnie, can I see that you're here? But did you get the link from the Metadime place so that you can hop on? Yes. Let me just push the button and then push the blue button. It'll take you right back into the office here. I want to do this right here. I hate to say this, but Marie France and I, being involved with the health and wellness industry for 22 years, that I can vouch for. We realized back in 1999 that we will have this problem because the superbugs are coming, and we need to really protect ourselves because the superbugs are getting very smart with the traditional methods that we're using to protect ourselves. And I totally agree with that. It's a browser issue, he said. Okay, so can we swap him on yours? It's a browser issue. It's a browser issue. I'm not sure what the browser issue is, but can you put him on your set, Scott? Is that possible? Anyway, what I want to say is I agree with that. Sometimes the penicillins that we use are so strong, they kill everything inside our gut and our gut health because of these, what are they, MERS? Is that what it is, Robin? Because of these MERS. In a moment. Great. Okay, that's great. And so what happens when we're in these cycles, we do need other things to do that. And I agree, Peter, that is one of the most important things that we can talk about. We knew superbugs were coming on a long time ago. There he is. I see him. I got you two in the back, moving back. Bam. There we go.
Uh-oh.
Thank you, sir. I'm so excited right now. I'm telling you, I wanted to have Marie Jo on. I thank you for just hopping on. I want to talk a little bit about the.
Hi, MJ.
I'd like to see you, Donnie.
Pleased to meet you too.
MRSA, that's it. It's this right here. Their drugs for MRSA have to be so strong right now. And I want to let you know, Peter's right. And I want to talk about with Donnie and Marie Jo, please just hang out with us because it's so nice to have you on. I want to say, yesterday we talked for about over an hour and a half about this second form of the virus that is coming out. And I did some research with you. Everything is true. There is a new second form of this virus, and it's even stronger than the first. Is that right? Tell us about that, would you, Donnie?
Yeah, I think what I'd like to do is probably preface it with the fact that years ago, I had caught a mosquito virus. And the mosquito virus I had was the mystery virus. And at the same time, there was a major outbreak in the United States called the West Nile virus. Mm-hmm. And my doctor actually worked for the government. It was kind of like a Twilight Zone episode that lasted for about a year. So because of my personal experience, I have some distrust of that aspect of the government because it literally did kill me. And fortunately, I came back. So I'm very suspect when people start making statements of what I would call indemnification or plausible deniability. So I watch what I do is I watch very closely when they start releasing these statements. And the fact that he spoke about 2 viruses actually in China right now.
That's right.
I was very alarmed when he said one of them is very much like the Spanish flu. Oh. And so that is a major alarm because right now society has become conditioned where we're fighting about this virus. Is it real? Is it not real? The arrogance of people going out, young people catching it, not getting sick. But if we really look at all of the research that's been happening, there was the scientist in France who first discovered HIV. There was controversy around that between him and our government. And he looked at the virus and he stated that there were 4 genetic inserts in the virus. And he had live press conferences in France. And the genetic inserts that he saw were HIV-1, HIV-2, SARS, and MERS. So that's very alarming. So if we think about this, stepping back and looking at the larger picture, if the population is infected with this present virus, COVID, and if it does have those genetic inserts, what are we looking at long term? So long term, and I'm not a doctor, it's just, from researching this. So long term, if you step back and see that people are carrying this virus in their body, let's say it's just sitting there and all of a sudden a new virus comes along. what has that original COVID virus done to the immune system of the human body? So let's say these two new viruses that they're plausible deniability, saying, okay, all of a sudden there's these new viruses in China, and then we get this first wave of another virus. What is that going to do to the population? So in this chaos, people are not reading between the lines. They're not watching what's really happening. I mean, there's upheaval in the world. There's always been upheaval in the world, but it's the way we watch things and to really, it's what would that be? Like listening to the subtle. So there's subtle hints that they're giving us that there's a possibility that this virus is actually real in China. Otherwise, why would they be telling us?
Yeah.
So we discussed this yesterday. It's not about being fearful. It's about how are we as people going to deal with this virus. First of all, what the virus is really telling us is we're all human beings. We're not looking at this. We're having all of this, riots, fighting. But if we look at it as a basic thing, it's saying, hey, look, you're all humans, and I can come after every single one of you. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to wake up to the fact that you as the human race need to get things together and start getting along? I mean, it wouldn't even be getting along. If we could have that paradigm shift and realize, I mean, look at me, I'm like multiracial. My kids are multiracial. The world is multiracial, and we're not even, then we're not even that. I mean, so when we were talking about this yesterday, it's about how do we approach this as human beings, and how do we move forward without fear? It is a moment in time for us to change how we live, to change how we communicate with each other. To not look at each other with fear, because the fact is, the one thing we should be fearing are these viruses. And they're, unfortunately, because I do have distrust in certain aspects of the government, because of due to arrogance, many people don't believe that governments, corporations, whatever we want to label them, that they wouldn't do things to people. But that's happened for centuries.
Tons of times.
Over and over.
Tons of times.
So
I mean, all the ways
when we talk about follow the money, it's all about money. It's all about control. It's all about who are the warlords today? Who are the people that are manipulating all the humans, feeding us hate, feeding us vitriol, just controlling everyone. When if we could take this moment and realize, okay, I am susceptible to it. People around the world are susceptible to it. So what are we really looking at? We're not looking at the true point is we're all connected, yet for some reason, we're all fighting. I mean, why would a virus be leading us to such confrontation? People are experiencing fear because they are helpless. But we're not helping each other.
Don, would you say that they are experiencing fear? When I see the young population out here knowing, the potential consequences. So I guess it's probably a different definition of fear, because I could tell you, I tick all the boxes. Okay, I'm 60. I am Black. I am overweight. I mean, here it is. I tick all the boxes. So am I going to go out here and try to catch that stuff?
I see that.
But the young people, they are out here, and when you say fair, I don't know if they understand fair.
And they tried right now. They're having parties to see who can. They're calling COVID parties. Let's just get COVID. Are you crazy? The damage done to your body is permanent. If you're young, if you're 15, 20, 25, you have another possible, I don't know, living to 80. Living
Can you imagine?
Exactly. Can you imagine damaging yourself in that way till you're 80?
I think that
Crazy.
Our society has become so fast from technology. I was told that one of the biggest problems that the Earth would face was with HMI, human machine interface. So our youth, I mean, my son is 30, and my daughter's 28, or she's 29, Scott. I can't remember right now, but the fact is they are so overstimulated and so accustomed to this different reality. I mean, our children have grown up playing games where you can kill people and they step right back up.
Yeah.
So it's this whole different concept of life. I'm 61, you're 60. We're all in a place where we realize we're getting closer to that doorway.
Yep.
We're getting closer to the end of our experience. Maybe 20 years, maybe 30, maybe 10, who knows?
Yeah.
But the fact is that is our reality. And so I believe this generation, they're not really seeing things for what they are. Like right now we're talking about, there was an encounter with a group of people who are coming to small rural communities, and their comment was, we're going to burn this place down. There are all these movements happening. Antifa is one of these movements, but they're not really thinking about it. You can't burn everything down.
What will you have left?
Are you going to have?
Exactly.
And do you have the capacity to rebuild what we built? That's not how we're going to change things.
And what the purpose of that?
Yeah, it's to burn it down and create chaos, and then to control us even more as human beings.
Yep.
There's so many great areas right now, and unfortunately, because of the chaos, people are not looking at what's really going on. Yes, there's a
they're
virus.
Not trusting. And here's the issue. They're not trusting what's going on.
Yeah.
They're not being sure that the message you're getting it. And I want to say something, because I really feel this. When you started talking, you said you have a distrust for the government. And I think our young people, and rightfully so, they've watched us get hosed over from the time they told us tobacco didn't cause cancer till now. We've been through this story over and over and over and over again. And I can understand people's confusion or people's distrust or cynicism. And to me, it's very hard to say that. I do want to say one thing, because you brought up our children. And I think that I want to address everybody who's 37 years and younger. You are so important to us. You are. And taking care of you is important for us too. And that when you go out and you risk yourself and you put yourself in harm's way, you are going to crack our souls. We love you so much. We don't want to see you in that pain. We don't even like when you have the flu or a stomach ache or a heartache, but we don't want you to put yourselves in harm's way to prove anything to anyone. Just say, how would it affect my mom if I was hurt or intubated? Or how would it affect your loved ones? People love you. Don't let any peer pressure, don't let anyone do anything that would put harm to you. And that it's like, we just don't want to see you go through that. And if they really want to have a COVID party and that's the best thing they can get out, you need new friends.
Well, Vickie, they live in the moment for the moment.
Yes, they do. Okay. And get out of that moment. Have some discernment with your moment. It's okay to tell yourself no.
It's actually good to live in the moment, but it's how you live in the moment.
Yes.
Where are you presently? What are you really thinking about? And unfortunately, we're all responsible for what's happening right now in the world, because if we step back, we really are creating this. So what are we trying to learn from this?
I think, Don, it's okay to live in the moment, but I don't think you should necessarily live for the moment.
Right.
Yes.
True.
You see what I mean?
That's one thing great about you, MJ. You always have a great.
She does.
Yeah,
she just
a great
did
way
it
with words. Yeah, you just did it, and I totally agree with that. So, I would say as a society globally, well, especially in more the Western world, and we're partially responsible for this because, you know, I consider myself a really good dad. I communicate with my children really, really well, but I also understand that something happened that this whole generation is very unhappy with the world, with the way the world is, and understandably so. So many are thinking, well, we need to tear it all down. That's how we're going to fix it. Of course. And then our generation is like, no, you can't tear it all down. You could repair it, maybe change the direction. But because the way we've raised our kids, they're like, no, I want it right now. I'm very disappointed in you. They've lived this fast life, this fast style technology.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden everything's falling apart. So they
but you know what?
It's good.
I mean, guilty as charged, right? We made everything so easy for them. Okay? I've got 2 adult kids, and I swear, if I have to do it all over again, I'll do it. But I will tweak it a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
And here we are. We're all here to learn this lesson. And, you know, the viruses, I think people really need to start listening. They really need to pay attention. I know there's chaos in the world, but you know, this is where they talk about be still for a moment, because if we're not still, we can't hear what's really going on. And I've always said there's so much going on. I can feel there's so much more coming, and it's how are we going to deal with it as human beings? And so that's where I see things. I see that we'll be potentially changing everything. The way we live, the way we do food. We're returning back to some of our old ways. They may be improved technologically, but it's still about getting back in touch with who we really are.
The basis remain the same. The foundations remain the same.
We're all here for the same reason. We're all here to wake up and say, oh, you know, I'm not really even human. You know, that's my perception. And once we see that, hopefully things will change. And I think these are one of those moments when I have to be honest, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better.
I do too.
And
I think we're at the tipping point. We just hit 3 million cases.
We've all chosen to be here.
Yep, we have.
So my question is, at the end of all this, okay, what can we do because to really help those young people understand that this is not the way to go?
Well, you know, that's interesting. I was talking to Vickie yesterday, and Robin is an occupational therapist, but she's also studied classes on anxiety and depression and how to deal with this. So I still believe there's aspects of education or exercises that like even Robin could come on and have a show maybe on Unlocked or something and talk about the fundamentals of how we deal with anxiety, how we deal with the stress that's going on in the world. You need to give people tools or information so they can better deal with the situation in the world. You know, I know it's really hard for kids right now because, like you said, I maybe I spoiled my kids.
Yeah, I mean, it's not maybe for me. I know I did.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm wondering if doing this made them less heart-centered.
Yeah.
You know, because
I think there's been some tough things for kids. I mean, we could say anything we want, but it's our generation that made all the technology. We made all the money. We made all the stuff. And even in spite of that, we collapsed everything. It's not only that we just made all the money, we made a lot of corruption as well in our generation. And so it all crashed down. Their college education, they spend hundreds of thousands of dollars for it, like over the top. And their degree is completely useless when they get done because technology is now past them. They had no opportunities, no job guarantees. And now when you go to college, getting a good job isn't a promise. It's only a possibility. We have made it so their life doesn't have direction. like ours had direction. And there's been a point where they've only had to be in the moment because that's all they can do. Look at all the students who graduated college, got nothing, and had to move back with their parents. And what do? They try to figure it out.
They end up with a mortgage without the house.
Yeah,
you're right.
That's right.
You know,
that student loan is that mortgage without the house. That's right.
I can only speak for myself personally, but what's working for me right now to deal with this anxiety. Of course, I have my own a spiritual practice, but working in my garden at barefoot, I go out there barefoot because I found when I'm barefoot on the dirt, like my knee doesn't hurt, but it actually, I feel better. So I'm working in the garden, pulling weeds, watering, and those are where I'm finding solace. And unfortunately, I think the whole world is going to have to start finding solace in building gardens, because not only do we have the virus, not only do we have global environmental issues, we have issues with the sun right now. Growing days are getting shorter. The food supply is changing. Even Cuba 2 days ago ordered all their people to start growing gardens because they know there's going to be food shortages.
Yeah.
So necessity, the mother of invention. Well, we're all going to have to start growing food again. And fortunately, growing food again and touching the earth is a part of human beings. We are here on the earth for a reason. And I believe that will be a part of the healing process for all of us. It'll be necessary, but it's going to change the way we communicate. I could talk more about that later, but I believe we're meant to be going through this. Unfortunately, this shouldn't be happening. Well, it is, but there's a reason for it. And hopefully
there are no coincidences, right?
Yeah, no coincidences. So this is about how do we move forward? How do we reconnect as human beings? How do we solve these problems in the world? But do it as human beings, not being separate. We're not separate. And of course, we're far more than what we think we are. So that's the trip for all of us down here. How are we going to wake up? Well, we got to go through stuff.
So I want to go back to her question, which was, what are we going to do for them? Because you just brought up some of the answers, Donnie. And I want to say this. Our kids, the thing we didn't give them is a sense of purpose and a sense of meaning in their life. Yeah. And all of their sense of purpose and sense of meaning and everything else that they've known has shattered. We're adults. They're adults too, but we're adults. We have more experience in this world, and we don't know which way to move. Why would they know how to move and we wouldn't? What is it in the direction? Everything is like just to the point where just needing to be grounded, just to be grounded on the earth right now is the helpful thing. But our kids, our adults, they don't even have a sense of what the world is now because it's so confusing. Everything is in the pandemic, not just a country, not just a economic thing. It's everything. The earth is needing help. Our politics need help. Our school systems need help. Everything needs help. Everything that was in their world needs help right now. And they're just young people. They have no sense of meaning. And I will tell you something, the job they have for their future, I would not wish on myself.
But the great thing is they have a moment in time where they can re-envision our future, where they can change things. That's what's happening. It's all falling apart. And when things fall apart, you have to rebuild it.
I think, Dawn, just looking at what Vickie said, if they don't have a sense of purpose, they are not able to really exactly, so
maybe that is the sense of purpose,
is to learn to access it.
Well, to access it, but this is your chance. This is your chance to fix the mistakes that we made or the generations.
And I'd like to apologize for those mistakes. I want to talk to Lisa here because she's got a really big post here, and I think it's relevant. I took 10 years to go to college while I was working my way up the corporate ladder. Not recommended for anyone who wants a life, only to get my degree and find that I could not get a job that even paid more than what I had made which I hated, and I was only there through college. I have talked to young people and tell them to follow their passion. The education doesn't mean a thing these days. It really doesn't. And she also likes gardening. It's so relaxing and grounding. And I think that today's young people, they don't have a calling, they don't have a mission, they don't have a meaning or purpose. You're going to have to find one. And I want to say this: don't try and find a purpose. Try and find purposefulness inside you. So you like more than one thing. Everybody does. Like, I know Donnie loves gardening, but I also know he loves cooking. I also know he loves spirituality. Everybody likes more than one thing. And the future is about letting the artist out of you that is purposeful, that sees and experiences opportunities in the moment that are real and there for you. You guys, we have gone way over, but I want to just say, this was such an important conversation, and I loved this is the Coffee Break Show, but what I loved about it today was it was spontaneous. And everybody just said yes in this spontaneous moment to talk about this conversation. We don't know who is going to hear it. We don't know who's going to watch it, but I know that there is a message for every single person that's here. And I want to let you know, Marie Jo, you are an amazing person. Thank you. I just want to spend 5 minutes talking about you, because I know you do finances and stuff like that.
I do.
And you've raised 2 kids and you've done so much. And I think that I think people want to know a little bit about you. And I know that they know you live in Bermuda. And say something fun about you before we go.
Well, something fun. It's fun and it's not fun, because as I happened to, did not plan to be in the US for so long, right?
Uh-huh.
But, you got to make the best of a situation. And I had just stepped away from corporate, and where I funded a pension empire for a private group in Bermuda. The end wasn't all that great, but I learned a few lessons there, that women and finance are incongruous in nature. Okay. And but for what reason? Because of our stories. So I made it my passion to be part of the movement who is going to eradicate the scarcity and the poverty mentality in women.
Yay! Thank you so much.
So I decided I could give you the best budget, the best financial plan, but if you don't have a good financial mindset,
yes,
it's not going to happen. Yes. So you got to recognize that you got some blocks. Okay, you got to recognize that you have to release those.
Yep.
And that you got to recognize that you got to reset.
Yes.
So when you do that, it's not about how much money you make. It's being able to learn how to live within your means and live the extraordinary life that you deserve.
Yeah.
So when all of those things are put together, mindset plus knowledge multiplied by, action and time would give you the life that you deserve.
Beautiful.
So that's what I'm really trying to get going, because apparently we cannot talk about money, but money is everywhere. I mean, we deal with it all the time. So you remember that we could not talk about race, and you see what happened recently?
Yeah.
So we don't want that to happen. It's happening already, okay? Most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
That's right.
Okay? And most people are like, oh my God, okay, I'm making money, but I don't know where the money is going. So they got to learn how to tell their money where to go and not find out where that money went.
Yes.
You see, so that is what I want to start. I want to start some financial conversation. My market target is mainly female because it's more prevalent with the women.
That's right.
Okay. But I have a few guys who have those mental blocks too. Okay, money becomes an obsession for them. And I tell them all the time, okay, you go to the supermarket and you buy me 2 pounds of love, 3 pounds of respect, 5 pounds of whatever. You can't put that in okay? You can't do that. So let's work on that. Okay, let's be heart-centered, because that's where it starts. Okay,
Yes.
so that's so I'm really looking at where the mind, the brain meets money.
Yes, where the mind and the brain meets money. That's beautifully said. Beautifully said. And, I'm going to pick your brains later about that, because we want to have her back on the show to learn about that.
No worries. I do have the name of my method is merging life and money.
Merging life and money.
So I do work with people, and I just love it. I just do it because I love it. Money is not.
Can I interject something about MJ? MJ, sure. So you were speaking earlier about youth and how are we going to work with them. So all those concepts and everything that you're doing, it sounds like you're one of the perfect people to lead young people in a different direction.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a great power.
Because people get confused the whole concept of financial literacy and financial education. They are two different things.
That's right. That's absolutely right. That is going to be part of the future. You guys, thank you for doing that. And I want to introduce Donnie. I know he was on.
You know me.
he was on Tracy's Unlocked. But Donnie is one of the founding partners of Metadime here, and he does all kinds of research. I mean, neurotically does research. He's got it so down. He knows the latest of everything else. Super visionary, super creative, super full of love, great speaker, well, you guys heard him. But I want to thank you guys for being so just amazing at coming here and just being with us. And thank you for being on the show. And today, this was a spontaneous combustion of the Coffee Break Show. I'm going to be here tomorrow. So are you guys. Mwah! Peace out. I love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye.
And really,